Alright guys, so we are back with another video. Now I'm going to be walking, holding my computer, you know what I'm saying. Decided to, do something a little bit different. So today we're going to be talking about Neville Goddard, changing your states. Now, before I get into this, I want you guys to be mindful that I am not saying anything wrong about no one's religion. Everyone is entitled to believe what they want to believe. I have no intention of changing anyone's beliefs. But what I will say is this. One thing that stood out to me was when Neville Goddard was talking about distinguishing between the being and the state of consciousness. No, you cannot change the being because the being is forever. But your state of consciousness can be shifted. And how can your state of consciousness be shifted? Your state of consciousness can be shifted, okay, when you start to realize that your reality, your imagination, is when you become the god or the goddess that you want to be, okay? Now, the reason I want to point that out is because Neville did say, believe in the reality imagined. Albert Einstein, I mentioned this before in my other video. Albert Einstein, he talked about this. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Now, I know that saying knowledge is what brings imagination, but what truly is imagination? What we imagine is what becomes a reality. And that's something that a lot of people don't want to really talk about or want to believe, because who's going to believe like what I imagine is something that I can actually create? Because your imagination is God. Okay? Neville said this, and I actually totally do agree with him. Like I said, everyone is entitled to their opinion. So don't be in the comments saying, Alizé said this and that. No, absolutely not. Okay? So he also goes on to say that when you're shifting your state of consciousness, that means that you are then being not just only in a new state, but you're actually beginning to come within God's state. Now, I'm not saying that that's what you need to do to manifest. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that when we actually are aware of our conscious, our state of being, when we're aware of the negative thoughts that are being perceived into the subconscious, that are being digested, okay? Because the subconscious beliefs are already programmed, okay? I already said that in a video. Go and look at the subconscious beliefs, and that's how we manifest. I'm not talking about that. But what you believe, what you're giving your subconscious, what you're feeding it, is what is going to become your reality. And that's why it is important to affirm. It is important to be aware of what you're feeding yourself when you're feeding yourself these beliefs. And this is so powerful because Neville also goes on to talk about how God became man. So if God became man, then man can become God. Okay? And I believe that that is true. I believe that, yes, like I said, we are the creators of our own reality. Because if you ever notice, what you assume is the truth. The law of assumption. And I want to get into the law of assumption, and I want to talk a little bit more about how the law of assumption and the law of vibration actually correlate together. And the reason, those are the dogs, but the reason the law of vibration and the law of assumption correlate is because the law of assumption is when it's dealing with your feelings, okay? You assume something, so that assumption is true. The law of assumption, you assume something to be true, so it is true. The law of vibration is when your vibrational energy, whether depending on how you're feeling, depending on how you're thinking, stuff like that right there is very important, because that all goes with your feelings, your emotions. And when you assume something, when you assume something negative, are you thinking positive? No, you're thinking negative. You're feeling negative. That's how you're feeling at that very moment. And Neville talks about how when you, I don't have my notebook with me now, but when you assume something and when you believe in it, believe in that reality, you will not fail. And the reason you won't fail is because you believe that it's true. See, a lot of people, they don't believe in the reality imagined because they assume that these things aren't realistic. They assume that your imagination cannot bring something into fruition. But in reality, it can, because you are the creator of it. Okay? And this is something that's really important. And I went a little bit more deeper into what Neville said. Also, before I even go a little bit further into Neville, I wanted to touch on what Les Brown said. He's a motivational speaker. You know, one of the top 10. Love this dude. He says, people say, I'll believe it when I see it. But why don't you believe it and you can see it? Now, that's a quote. And that was a powerful quote. And the reason this quote was powerful is because when you are walking by faith and not by sight, you are believing and having faith within this specific thing that you want to manifest in your life, that it will come true. And this is very, very true. You have to have faith, and that is the most important thing. And even Neville says, believe equals persistence. I said believe equals persistence. Because when certain things, like I said, they don't go our way. I used to do this too. I used to be the type of person that when something doesn't go my way, I'm getting upset. It's not happening for me. But I'm not realizing that when you plant a seed, you water that seed, you give it sunlight, you give it all the ingredients, stuff like that, it will grow. But patience is the key. And Neville goes on to say, don't touch it, don't do nothing. You've already planted it, so just let it grow. Okay? And when, I'm going to actually say that this is going to be called being able to, I don't know what the title is going to be, probably like changing states and shifting your state of consciousness. Shifting your state of consciousness is the most important thing. And because once you actually feel like, you know what, despite what my 3D reality may be telling me right now, I'm going to say, look, I'm going to believe in what I've imagined and what I've created in my mind. A lot of people might think you're crazy. A lot of people might say, oh, that's weird. But that's their perspective. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and he went on to say that people are going to they're not open-minded to believing or seeing that there can be another way. And I do believe that when your conscious state, when you are thinking so negative, when you are in the perspective of feeling like this isn't going to happen, you do stop the seed from growing. You do. So be mindful. Like Neville said, the being is forever, but to change the state. He says Jesus is a state. Abraham was a state. David was a state. God is a state. Be aware of your state of consciousness. Be aware of the thoughts that are being digested. Be aware what you're feeding yourself. How they would say, what we feed ourselves physically, but also mentally. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And like I said, I was going to drop another one. So this is the second video I'm dropping today. Okay. And no, I am not trying to change anyone's beliefs of nothing. Please don't be in the comments saying that. Like I said, I respect everyone's belief. Everyone, you know, whatever you believe in is true. That is what you believe in, etc. And I wanted to really talk about this because I felt like it was a really strong topic to actually touch upon. I might do a part 2 to this because I'm actually studying this. And like I said, I wasn't really going to talk about manifestation. I know I said that, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and talk about it because I'm learning about it. I want to know about it. I want to know how it works, but I really want to understand the way it works for me. And I will be making another video going on the different types of ways that people can manifest, because everyone manifests differently. You just have to find out what works for you. And that's just what it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. A to the L to the I to the Z to the E. And it's all on me. You just got your daily dose of the legendary Z. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.